Success comes from UCCS, from believing in yourself, from supportive faculty, from trying new things. Success comes from discovering your passion, from being fearless, from those around you. Success comes from UCCS. Apply online at uccs.edu.
Hello and welcome to Lubbock Christian, home of the NCAA Division II tournament for the South Central region. I'm Charlie Botnick, and I'll be your host for this pregame show. So we have a great matchup. Your UCCS women's basketball team taking on West Texas A&M. Now UCCS is the 6th seed, West Texas A&M is the 3rd seed. This is a rematch of last year of the South Central Regional Final. The Mountain Lions lost that one 96-69. Brittany Hernandez had 15 points and 7 rebounds. Sasha Watson had 12 for West Texas A&M. For West Texas A&M, they are coming into this game with a loss in the Lone Star Conference Championship against Angelo State, 68-65, a double overtime for that one, as Angelo State is in the NCAA Division II tournament too. But they lost that one. Mountain Lions come into this as a loss also, as they were on the bubble watch against Fort Lewis. They played Fort Lewis at CSU Pueblo and lost that one. Mountain Lions ready to come out strong, as we have an excellent game, 11 o'clock here. In Mountain Time, it will be a noon game. So Mountain Lions will play smart. Mountain Lions, just some fun facts, 10-3 while wearing black uniforms. We'll be wearing those black uniforms tonight. Also, ready as the Mountain Lions are coming out strong right now. West Texas just warming up. Some key names to look out for West Texas is Sasha Watson. Played the Mountain Lions last year. Mountain Lions let her shoot, and she was on fire. Had 12 points, like I said. Had most off of the jumper this year, averaging 11 points. Had 23 points against Angelo State, but that was her season high. So coming off into that season high. Also 45% from the field. Also, another name to look out for is number 34, the 6'2 junior Madison Wild. The season high had 21 against Tarleton State. Loves to go into the post. Will be matched up against all of Mountain Lions' bigs. As we actually got to talk to a Mountain Lion player, actually Mountain Lion star, the RMAC Player of the Year, Brittany Hernandez. She's right now averaging 21 points per game, 8 rebounds. Got a chance to catch up with her, talk about the RMAC Player of the Year, the RMAC Defensive Player of the Year, and this upcoming game. We'll take a look right now.
Charlie Botnick here for the Pita Pit pregame, here with the RMAC Player of the Year and the RMAC Defensive Player of the Year, Brittany Hernandez. First off, Britt, how you doing?
Good.
Now, Britt, tomorrow, actually, you guys play West Texas A&M. You know, you saw them last year. What are you really expecting from them this time around?
They're still going to be a good team, and we're still going to have to be ready to go on defense, and probably have to play one of the best games we've played this year to compete with them. And so, yeah.
And, being the selection show and really not knowing what was going to happen with the ranking and all that, and, watching the reactions, how did you feel knowing that you guys got the 6th seed?
I was completely shocked. I honestly didn't expect us to make it in. So, when they called us, I actually, when they were doing the selection show, I wasn't even really paying attention to it because I was kind of upset. And then when they called us, I didn't even know. So it was, shocking.
And to see, 3 other RMAC teams in there, Colorado Mines, Black Hills State, and CSU Pueblo, how nice is it to have a competitive league in the RMAC?
It's really nice, especially going into a big, the tournament. It kind of makes it a little more familiar. And then, it kind of speaks volumes for our league about how good the teams are, and, yeah.
And speaking about that league, you did get RMAC Player of the Year and RMAC Defensive Player of the Year. How big of an honor is that to you?
I was completely also shocked that I got both, and I'm very thankful that I got both. My teammates really make me look good, and so I'm really excited that I got it.
And you have had a phenomenal year, leading the RMAC in scoring with 21 points per game, 9 rebounds. What has been your whole mindset this year? And getting back to the NCAA tournament, what is your mindset coming into this?
Well, one, I really just hate losing, and so I try to play as hard as I can every night, and then I try to play for my teammates because I know they play as hard as they can for me, so I try to do the same for them every night.
And with the last game, Fort Lewis, it was a little bit of a tough one for, the whole team. What's really going to be the difference between this game and last game?
I think we have to be ready to go from the start. Like, we have to come out strong, and we have to play 40 minutes of good basketball.
And last question, this is the second year head coach Sean Nelson has been the head coach of your UCCS Mountain Lions. Really, how big has he played a role in your career?
He's been huge, I would say I definitely gotten better as a player with like my post moves and just being patient on offense and and also defensively, really focusing in on that has been different. Like from when I was playing at CCU, I really just feel like he challenges us on the defensive end, and I really have gotten better at that aspect of my game.
There you have it, Brittany Hernandez, the RMAC Player of the Year and Defense Player of the Year. Britt, good luck.
Thanks.
And a great catch-up right there from Brittany Hernandez, the RMAC Player of the Year, RMAC Defense Player of the Year. Seems very focused on this game, was in that one last year against West Texas A&M. And, Mountain Lions want to come out strong. As we take a quick look at that reaction video, Mountain Lions did not know they were going to be in. It was in the bubble watch as, Mountain Lions didn't know if they were going to be the 8th seed, the 7th seed, the 6th seed. 6th seed was the last one called. As you see there, Mountain Lions very excited. And, they look ready to play. Got a chance to watch them shoot around yesterday. And, they seemed focused, seemed ready. This is one of the biggest gyms they have played on this season, actually. Mountain Lions, 7 hours to get here. So, they seem ready. As we'll take a quick look at the tournament bracket. As you see, four RMAC teams in there. You have CSU Pueblo and Black Hill State, Colorado Mines, and us. And the RMAC is very, very strong this year. Also, RMAC had 4 teams last year in it. As we take a look around how the Mountain Lions actually got here, in December they were 6-5. They lost 2 at home against Regis and Shattern State, both by 20. That was when the turning point came for the Mountain Lions. After winter break, the January 1st, they played Fort Lewis, came out strong, and that was actually a noon game too, so Mountain Lions very used to these early game times. But Mountain Lions really have been fighting through a lot, and then that loss against Fort Lewis, got a chance to talk to senior guard Shannon Kelly and Gabby Ramirez, as both of them, really did not want to end their careers like that, and, they get another chance. The Mountain Lions look focused as right now the Mountain Lions actually heading on to the floor to start their warm-up and start stretching. Actually got a chance to talk to the senior guard out of Milliken, Colorado, Gabby Ramirez. She had a lot to say about this year and, talked a little bit about this game, about her career. Let's take a look.
Charlie Botnick here for the Pita Pit pregame, here with senior guard Gabby Ramirez. First off, Gabby, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, first off, let's talk about the selection show. You were there, and when the name got called for the 6th seed for the UCCS Mountain Lions, the last, team called, really, what was your reactions on that?
I was happy. I was really nervous at first. As you could see in the video, I was really nervous. Just knowing or finding out if I could play again this year was kind of, had me in distraught. So it was good. I was happy.
And like you said, Fort Lewis, not the best game for you guys this season. And I know you as a competitor really didn't want to go out like that. So how nice is it to have a second chance and be in the NCAA tournament?
It's really nice. Exactly. Like you said, I played horrible. We played horrible, and that's not our team. So another chance to give it our all is something we need.
And, seeing 4 teams in the NCAA tournament and 4 RMAC teams as Black Hills State, Colorado Mines, CSU Pueblo, and yourself and your team, really, how nice is it to know that you have such a competitive league in the RMAC, and it really prepares you for this NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it's awesome. We do have, the toughest league toughest teams in the league, and it prepares us very well. Even last year, being in the national tournament, it helps the upperclassmen be more prepared too.
And, Gabby, this year the freshmen have really stepped up, and, them just being freshmen and, this being their first year, how do you get them prepared for the big stage?
I think you just talk them through it, make them confident, tell them that we believe in them and they could do whatever they can, and I think they do. I think they know that we can't win without them, so I think they're getting it, and I think like every practice they're getting it more and more. So yeah.
And, just talking about yourself a little bit, and, your career at UCCS has been a great career, a crazy career. Last year, the NCAA tournament. Really, how much, when you look back, how big has your career been as a Mountain Lion?
It's been huge, 4 years playing same team, different girls come and go. You build and make friendships, and it's awesome. I love the experience of being a college athlete, especially Mountain Lion athlete, and all you have is support. So it's been great.
And talking a little about the game, you have West Texas A&M. You saw them last year, and you were on that team last year. What do you really expect from them this year?
To compete, they're going to be good. They've always been good, and obviously they're the third in our region, so they're going to be good, and we just have to bring it. A lot of effort, a lot of shooters. I know if we give them open shots, they're going to hit every shot, so try not to let that happen again.
And with West Texas A&M, the guard play is really one of their strengths as a team. What are you going to try and limit with that guard play?
Just be up in their face. Don't let them get easy shots. Don't let them penetrate to the basket, and just play aggressive.
And, being here last year and, really this year did not know what was going to happen. Are you taking this, every step, or, just enjoying it, or how are you really taking this NCAA tournament?
You have to enjoy it. I think as a team, we like to feel relaxed, not nervous or anything. So I feel like if we come out relaxed and just play our game, I feel like the outcome's going to be a lot better.
And, Gabby, last question. Last year you guys knew after the RMAC tournament that you guys were going to get into the NCAA tournament. This year you guys were on the bubble watch. You really didn't know what was going to happen. At both of those selection shows, which one was more exciting?
Probably the first one. I just wanted to know who we played last year, so that was. I think it was just a lot better because we had a chance to be in the national tournament, and that was the first time being in the national tournament for me as well, and it was just exciting.
And just a little more comment on your experiences last year at that national tournament at West Texas A&M, and how exciting was that? It
was so exciting. Everything was new, everything was nice. We got treated really well, but it was just great experience to have under your belt too, coming in this year, and then just overall good experience.
Great to hear from the senior guard out of Milliken, Colorado, Gabby Ramirez. As Ramirez was on that NCAA tournament team last year, as you heard in the interview, and is ready to go out as we see the UCCS women's basketball team warming up right now. Kelly O'Flanagan, Maria Haas, Jenna Knoffel in the picture there. Mountain Lions looking ready. So we're about 35 minutes away from the game. We'll take a quick break and then have a word with the SID of your UCCS Mountain Lions, Jared Werner. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Since 1909, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has been a leader in collegiate athletics. with campuses in some of the most scenic areas in the United States. And now in Salt Lake City, Utah and Rapid City, South Dakota, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, competition elevated.
At the University of Colorado, we make quality education accessible to everyone. We award more undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees than any other university in the state. We reimagine the way communities are designed, and we help people throughout Colorado to be healthier. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
Are back. Mountain Lions at Lubbock Christian waiting for the game between your UCCS women's basketball team and West Texas A&M. We have a special guest, Jared Werner, the athletic SID. First off, Jared, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Charlie. How about you?
I'm doing good. You know, Jared, this is your second straight year for the UCCS women's basketball team to get to the national tournament. You know, how much does that mean for our program?
I think you really saw it Sunday when 8 seeds come up, 7 seeds come up. And I told you this last year, enjoy this trip because you don't know if you ever come back again. And I think Sunday night was when I think people really realized this isn't an annual trip. You can't guarantee that you're going to be in the NCAA tournament every year. And so we're here. You have all the NCAA signage up. I mean, we couldn't even get on the court until an hour ahead of time because teams are practicing. I mean, this is a totally different experience, but it's an absolute blast. So I'm excited we're here. I think the team is ready to go.
And like you said, you know, there's a couple of extra rules for the NCAA, and you know, do you think that's going to play a factor with our Mountain Lions tonight?
I don't think so. I mean, as you alluded earlier, it's a 7.5 hour drive from Colorado Springs. This is a totally different arena than what we're used to. It's not like we're playing at Mesa or Durango or Black Hills, where it's a place we're familiar with, and so we're having to adjust how we would have normally gone for a conference game. This is a totally different experience. I think everyone's ready. I think they, again, talking back to Sunday night when they realized that especially for Gabby and Shannon, that might have been the end of their career. And so I think you see those two who are going to be leading that charge to make sure that whatever they do, they're going to go out and they want their career to end on a good note.
Like you said, Shannon Kelly, Gabby Mears, both seniors. But let's take a quick talk about, you know, the RMAC and 4 teams in the RMAC, including ourselves, you know, Colorado Mines, Black Hills State, and CSU Pueblo. You know, how big is that for our conference to have 4 teams in the NCAA Division II tournament?
Well, and you look at that, and it's huge. That kind of parity, and even Sean even mentioned, I mean, the 8 seed last week beat the 1 seed. The 7 seed had to go to overtime against the 2 seed. 5 seed beat the 4 seed, which is us, and 6 seed beat the 3 seed. So even the 4 teams that got in, I mean, you had Regis, you had Colorado Christian, Fort Lewis made a heck of a run there at the end. So, I mean, you could have even had 5 teams from the RMAC. That's very, very hard to do with the way the regionalization is set up. But it's a tough league. And you look on the flip side, Lubbock Christian is the number 1 seed, but they're the only team out of the Heartland Conference. Lubbock Christian, if we get that far, we don't look at it too far, but they've been averaging 30-point wins this season. They haven't had a close game since they had to beat an RMAC team in overtime. That was Fort Lewis, the RMAC runner-up, who we unfortunately know quite well. Yeah. But it's the parity in our conference is just unbelievable this year. You had a couple years ago Fort Lewis national runner-up, Metro State a national quarterfinalist. It's just unreal the success that this conference has had at the national level.
And, you know, talking a little bit about this game tonight, you know, West Texas A&M, you were there last year, and you were sitting right next to me for that game. Mountain Lions unfortunately got that loss, 69-96. And, you know, West Texas A&M shot lights out that night. You know, they were 75% in the first half, and because last year was two halves. But, you know, what do you expect tonight for the Mountain Lions, and what's really going to be the difference between last year's team and this year's team?
I mean, and Sean Evans has said this in several interviews, it's going to be hard to beat a team when they're shooting that well. I mean, even if we had a great game, it would have been an even greater game. Obviously, West Texas A&M lost their head coach. He went to a D1 school last year, so they promoted their assistant coach. But at West Texas is West Texas. They made the national quarterfinals the last 2 seasons. They're only a 2-hour drive. They got their pep bands setting up over there. They have a pretty good section of fans who have made the trip down from Canyon. So it's going to be a good game. West Texas, though, not used to really playing these levels of basketball away from home. They've hosted the last 2 years.
And, like you said, West Texas A&M only 2 hours away from Lubbock Christian. So I know a couple of them will be going back and forth if they do advance. But, talking a little bit about this team, this trip we have been around this team a lot. And, we always talk about the teams that are the most fun off the court are usually the best teams on the court. And, talk to me about that, how, this team has really grown and how much you really have got to know this team over the past, couple of days.
Oh, it's fun. I've been here 4 years now. It's my 4th year. So Gabby and I started the same year. Yeah. And we saw it on the men's side. Welsh and I started on the same year. So there's a little bit of sentiment for me. I'm like, wow, next year I'm not going to see Gabby Ramirez in a Mountain Lion uniform. But this team, as I'm looking at warm-ups right now, I mean, they are focused. I don't know if I've seen that level of intensity for any game this year, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And we're even down here where the forwards are for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a lot of fun this trip. They were on the elevator with me this morning, and they were screaming, hooting, and hollering, Tori, the ringleader on that.
Of course.
But they're having fun, but they know that now's the time to buckle in and take this game, the opening round of the NCAA Division II National Tournament, and this game. No one else starts until tomorrow.
And talking a little bit, you were there at that interview with Brittany Hernandez, and Hernandez just seemed focused, and she's a quiet person, but she really expressed how much she does not like losing. And Fort Lewis, she had a tough game. Really didn't have the shot she usually had. What do you really expect out of her tonight? Or this afternoon, actually.
Well, and Brittany and Sean spent a lot of time on the bus trip down. A lot of her body language and making sure that what she's doing is going to be for the betterment of the team, because a lot of time if Brittany's not playing as well, it really rubs off on the other players. But when Brittany is playing well, Jenna's shots are falling, Lauren's shots are falling, V-Hill's shots are falling. Tori is a monster down low along with Shayna. Shannon Kelly is doing it's just everybody starts doing well. Even those who don't get a lot of playing time, Maria, Mia, and those players, when they come in, they are pumped up and they are ready to go, and they make shots and make moves down low that it's like, wow, these are the players that we were expecting to see play. So it's a lot of fun. Brittany, I think, just her demeanor, especially yesterday. I mean, like I said, she's a quiet person anyways.
Yes.
I don't know if I've really seen her scream at all.
Yeah.
But she's that silent leader, and I think she has realized her role and she has embraced that role. The leading point scorer in the region, I would say a candidate for Regional Player of the Year, and as well as an All-American. Only 3 players in conference history have swept both awards. Brittany is the 3rd one. And I think people, it's hard to understand that until later when you see that Christina Whitelaw in 2012.
Yeah.
And the last one was in the mid-2000s last time it happened. So this doesn't happen often to have a player as dominant as Brittany is. And for her, a bad night is 15 points. That's the crazy thing.
And, a little bit about Brittany, we talked about that RMAC Offense Player of the Year and Defense Player of the Year. She said she was shocked. She thought, there was more players that, willingly deserved it. But, Hernandez, you had the numbers, 21 points per game, 8 rebounds, averaged about 2 blocks per game. I know MSU Denver, she had 5 blocks in a night. So, she has been killing it this year. So, overall, what do you expect, and do you have any predictions for tonight's matchup?
I think it's going to be a good game.
Yep.
I'm always hesitant to do predictions.
Yes, I am too.
And then not really seeing West Texas a whole lot this season. But just knowing that they're not the same West Texas team as last year.
Yeah.
They lost in double overtime. They're a Lone Star runner-up. So they got a little chip on their shoulder right now coming in as the 3 seed. They were kind of coming into the Lone Star tournament expecting to be the 2 seed. Unfortunately, they lost, and then Pueblo got that 2 seed after they won the RMAC tournament. But I think it's going to be a good game. Mount Lions, this is their 2nd game this season playing this early. They did have a noon game at Fort Lewis, and they played very well in that game. Wearing the road blacks, which have been a very good sign of success for the team. So I think they're ready. I think part of it is that early morning, you're not waiting around all day to play a game. You can wake up, get breakfast, maybe have an hour or 2 at the hotel, and then you're here to play.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I won't give a prediction.
Okay.
Because as soon as I do, it'll go the other way. But I think we're it should be a great game. We got Steve Kirkham. I see him. He's talking on the phone down there. Associate Athletic Director Nate Gibson. Chancellor Shockley Zalabak will plan to make the trip down if we make it to the Sunday's third round game. But there's a lot of excitement. I'm really excited to see this game. We're finally here. We've been we left Tuesday night, got in early Wednesday morning to Amarillo, got about a 4-hour nap essentially in Amarillo. Came straight to the arena. It's been a fun trip. And then on the flip side, I got women's track and field in Pittsburgh, Kansas, a DMR team that I think is going to do very well. And at home softball, we got which could be the deciding series for the conference champion. So not just women's basketball, but it's going to be a fun Mountain Lion weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I already feel that atmosphere. We're about 22 minutes away from the opening tip-off. Jared Werner, thank you for coming on. We will take a quick break and be right back.
At the University of Colorado, we award more than 15,000 degrees each year. We've developed nearly 2,000 bioscience innovations. Our community programs serve more than 1 million people in Colorado. Our research has created over 150 companies, and we've partnered on more than 75 space missions. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to Make-A-Wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted.
We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
At the University of Colorado, we make quality education accessible to everyone. We award more undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees than any other university in the state. We reimagine the way communities are designed. And we help people throughout Colorado to be healthier. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
Hello and welcome back to Lubbock Christian, home of the Lubbock Chaparral. Now, right now, Mountain Lions, as you see, warming up, taking some good shots now, but still about 20 minutes away from game time. Mountain Lions looking focused. Great to have Jared Werner on the set. And, you know, Jared Werner does a lot for the Mountain Lions program. Glad to see him here. And also Nate Gibson and Steve Kirkham. It's Mountain Lions right now. So 19 minutes out. You know, Mountain Lions really need to just focus. You know, a little bit keys to game right now. They need to limit triple penetration. West Texas A&M have some great guards, as Sasha Watson is a great guard. She will take it always right-handed, go in strong, get the foul, as Watson already has 153 free throws on the season. Also, the guard number 5, Madison McLean, the transferred from Seward Community College, averages about 7 points per game, 3 rebounds, has 7 games in double digits, can shoot lights out if you let her wide open. So that will be a tough challenge for the guards for the Mountain Lions, as Gabby Ramirez, Shannon Kelly, Jen Veal all will be trying to stop them. And for the Mountain Lions, they have a lot of fire. As you know, Fort Lewis was a tough game, lost that one 79-70, but have a lot of fire on the bench. I expect great bench production as you have Tori Fisher, Gabby Ramirez, Jenna Knopfel, all have had big games for the Mountain Lions. All have scored in close to 19 to 20 points for the Mountain Lions off the bench, so expect big games for them. As we take a quick look at the tournament bracket, as you see, Mountain Lions playing West Texas A&M, but that matchup right above is the most interesting. Colorado State Pueblo versus Black Hills State, a little RMAC game right there. Black Hills State was knocked out of the RMAC tournament, did not get a chance, but that game last year went into overtime, or this year went into overtime in the regular season, so very excited to see that. And if Mountain Lions do advance, we'll be very familiar with West Texas, or with Colorado State Pueblo and Black Hills State, as you know, they already have had a game plan, already have played them. If West Texas A&M does advance, they'll have to jump on the fly, as you know, both teams will try and make it. As right now, we're going to take a quick look at head coach Sean Nelson. Got a chance to talk to him about this game. You know, we have done a lot of interviews this season, and he probably was the most focused on this interview. Seems so determined, you know, so happy to be back at the NCAA tournament. Let's take a look.
Charlie Bodnick here for the Pita Pit pregame, here with head coach Sean Nelson. Now, Coach, first off, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Coach, you guys are playing West Texas A&M in the first round of the NCAA Division II tournament. Really, what are you expecting to see out of them?
They're physical. They can really shoot the ball. They got great size, and they're lightning quick.
And, you know, talking about that, what are you going to try and limit them on the most?
We need to take away their dribble penetration and their three-point shots, and we got to do a really good job of rebounding when they miss.
And, you know, Coach, the guard play is one of their best things about them, about West Texas A&M. What are you going to try and do and limit those specific guards that can really shoot and also take it off the dribble?
Well, I don't think you can really stop them from doing anything. We just got to make sure we have a hand in their face, make sure we're guarding them, and making sure what they are getting is tougher than what they normally get, and then rebound when they miss.
And being at the NCAA Division II tournament twice already, you know, this is your second straight year, you know, does it feel a little bit different, and does it feel a little weird already being back here?
No, it doesn't feel weird at all. It feels really exciting. I mean, this is what you work for all year, and the fact that we've earned a spot in the tournament it's really big.
And, you know, just taking a quick look back, you know, you always talk about how you guys were 6-5 going into winter break, and really, what was the difference and what really changed going from winter break to now and, you know, before that?
Yeah, a lot of things, probably too many things to list right now, but the big thing was we were 6-5, and you know, we lost 5 seniors from last year, and I think everybody kind of came into the year thinking things were just going to happen for us. And you know, you're trying to figure out your team still. At Christmas time, we still trying to figure out our team. You know, different players, different pieces to the puzzle, all that kind of stuff. And then when we did figure it out, you know, our team won 15 of their last 19 games, including the tournament, and that was really big. And but you don't do that if you don't have good leadership and if you don't have players that are going to buy in, because when you're 6-5 at that point in the year, you're not even in the talk of going to the national tournament, and people can really very easily just quit on you and not buy in. And our theme at Christmas time was a 3-foot world. We just want to live in a 3-foot world and focus on just what was in front of us and dig ourselves out of the hole that we put ourselves in, one scoop at a time, and we did that.
And, you know, with those players that, you know, it was a little tough during winter break, but really have stepped up. Who really has stepped up the most in your eyes for this team?
Well, I don't think it's just been one individual. I think it's been everybody. everybody's had their moments. Everybody's played well at times. Our team is just it's built different this year. We have one great player and then a bunch of players that are capable of doing good things. Tori's playing really well now. We've had freshmen at times play really well. Shannon's played well. Gabby's played well. I know I'm missing somebody, but it's just the makeup of the team. Everything that we have to do has to be a team. Team wins.
And you talked a little bit about those freshmen, 3 notable freshmen that we've been talking about all year, Jenna Knoffel, Lauren Bennett, and Kelly O'Flanagan. Them being here for the first time at the NCAA tournament, how do you really make sure they have that composure and, know that it's big, but also it's just a game?
Yeah, a lot of that, to be honest with you, is it's out of my control. All we can do is really put the game plan together, and they got to go out, and there's things as a coach that you can control, things as a coach you can't, and one of the things that you cannot control is their energy and their effort and their heart, and they have to bring that themselves. And so I think some of the trouble that we got into in the second half of the year when we did lose those 4 games, I thought very easily we could have won all of those games, but we had some energy problems and some effort problems and stuff like that. But if everybody comes ready to go tomorrow, I don't see there being any problem.
Coach, last question. You have gotten to the NCAA tournament your second straight year, and it's the same core, but different players. How, to you, in your own words, how do you describe the NCAA tournament and how big it is?
Going to the NCAA tournament is huge. It's what you work for. You obviously want to win your championship and you want to do those type of things, but being recognized as one of the top teams in the country and having your season still going and being able to practice and break down film and do your job and do all those things, it's the best time of year. And I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of national tournaments as an assistant coach, as a head coach before, and then now, and it never gets old. It just gets better.
There you have it. Head coach Sean Nelson of your UCCS women's basketball team playing West Texas A&M. Coach, good luck.
Thanks, Charles.
Great to hear right there from head coach Sean Nelson. Really seems very focused in this game. As right now we will take a look at starters. First off, for West Texas A&M, you have number 5, the guard out of Groover, Texas, Madison McCoy. You have number 21, the senior out of Lone Tree, Colorado, Michaela Newhouse. You have number 23, the junior out of Amarillo, Texas, Sasha Watson. You have number 30, the senior out of New Jersey, Zantea Davis. And finally, number 34, the junior out of Epsom, Victoria, Australia, Madison Wild. For your Mountain Lions, you have 00, the junior out of Colorado Springs, Shayna Leaf. Number 5, the senior guard out of Colorado Springs, Shannon Kelly. Number 13, the junior out of Parker, Colorado, Jen Vigil. Number 21, the senior guard out of Milliken, Colorado, Gabby Ramirez. And finally, the RMAC Player of the Year, the junior out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, Brittany Hernandez, number 35. As Sean Nelson, head coach, making up a little bit of a lineup change. Kelly O'Flanagan, number 20, the freshman, has been starting most of the games for the Mountain Lions for the past of all of winter break, actually. And Gabby Ramirez has worked her way to get the starting spot now for the Mountain Lions. As you know, for those 2 seniors, really did not know where they were going to be right now. Didn't know if they were going to be in or not, as we're looking at the bracket there. But Gabby Ramirez, Shannon Kelly both really wanted this. We're both on the team last year. Both were starters on that team. Mountain Lions do have 3 out of 5 starters on that team last year. Brittany Hernandez, Gabby Ramirez, Shannon Kelly, also Tori Fisher, Jen Vigil, and Shayna Leaf played big roles in the NCAA tournament last year. And feels like just a year ago as we played West Texas A&M, and actually was a year ago on this Sunday. We're about 10 minutes away from the opening tip. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Success comes from UCCS, from believing in yourself, from supportive faculty, from trying new things. Success comes from discovering your passion, from being fearless, from those around you. Success comes from UCCS. Apply online at uccs.edu.
At the University of Colorado, we make quality education accessible to everyone. We award more undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees than any other university in the state. We reimagine the way communities are designed. And we help people throughout Colorado to be healthier. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
I finally found the healthcare I've been looking for. It's the UCCS Health Circle Primary Care Clinic across from University Village on North Nevada Avenue. The nurse practitioner managed clinic is a perfect fit. I have longer appointments so I don't feel rushed. And we've created a personal health plan that's really working for me. UCCS Health Circle is more than a provider. They're my new healthcare partner.
Since 1909, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has been a leader in collegiate athletics, with campuses in some of the most scenic areas in the United States. And now in Salt Lake City, Utah and Rapid City, South Dakota, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, competition elevated.
Welcome back to Lubbock Christian, home of the Chaparrals. Right now we are about to get underway, 7:50 remaining toward the opening tip. Right now Mountain Lions just still warming up. West Texas A&M right now in the locker room talking about the game plan. And, you know, this is the first year for head coach Kristen Matando. You know, she was an assistant coach last year and got the step up as last year's head coach went to D1, as Jared Werner said. But, you know, this is a new team for West Texas A&M. Lost 2 All-Americans last year. So, you know, it will be interesting to see what will happen as the Mountain Lions, you know, still have the second straight year for head coach Sean Nelson at the NCAA tournament. Keys to the game for the Mountain Lions: limit dribble penetration, limit dribble penetration. Sasha Watson, a tough guard to face, very fast off the dribble. So Mountain Lions will have to contain her. Also, the post play, have to play strong. Can't let offensive rebounds happen, as last time against Fort Lewis, let 5 offensive rebounds happen in a 1 possession. Also cannot let up in any quarters. Mountain Lions against Fort Lewis had a quarter, only scored 6 points. Cannot happen in the NCAA Division II tournament, as Mountain Lions will have to play all 4 quarters, have to play strong, need strong bench production, as we said before. And again, an interesting lineup between Delia Flanagan and Gabby Ramirez. Gabby Ramirez getting the start from the Mountain Lions, as she is the senior, and, you know, did get a chance to talk to her in that interview about her career. And, you know, she is loving UCCS, has loved UCCS, has loved this team. You know, it'll be an interesting game. For West Texas A&M, some keys to the game for them: will have to limit Brittany Hernandez, try and make her take outside shots. Still very good from the 3-point line. Also, send it to the free throw line, 84% from the free throw line. So Mountain Lions was the best best free throw shooting team in the RMAC. So Mountain Lions know how to take their free throws. But the other thing is Mountain Lions have been in some close games the last couple of games, other than Fort Lewis, but came back in that 4th quarter. But, you know, if it's a close game, we'll have to see what happens. Jenica Knopfels already hit 2 big shots for the Mountain Lions. About 5:40 away. Take one more quick break, do predictions, and then go to the game.
At the University of Colorado, we award more than 15,000 degrees each year. We've developed nearly 2,000 bioscience innovations. Our community programs serve more than 1 million people in Colorado. Our research has created over 150 companies, and we've partnered on more than 75 space missions. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
As we are back in Lubbock Christian, it's Mountain Lions still getting prepared. 3:45 away from this afternoon game for the Mountain Lions. Talking a little bit about predictions. You know, not the strongest about predictions like Jared Verner, but here's the thing. It will be a close game. Mountain Lions have been in a couple close games before. Will have to play strong, have to play all 4 quarters. West Texas A&M will have to get their offense running. And, you know, for West Texas A&M, their guard play is one of the strongest plays. As you saw in the Lions' Den and Sauce's spin, guard play is the strongest. Madsen McLean, Sasha Watson, expect them to have 2 good games. And, you know, they really want it, as McLean, a senior, still fighting for that championship. And for the Mountain Lions, expect a big game. Other than Brittany Hernandez, Shannon Kelly and Gabby Mears, I believe, will be the X factors for tonight's game, as both of them still fighting for their careers. And, you know, didn't want to lose at Fort Lewis like that. Didn't want that to be their last games. So, you know, Mountain Lions will be strong. Also, another strong player, Tori Fisher, right now averaging about 7 points and 6 rebounds. Had 20 points and 7 rebounds against Fort Lewis. So that was 2 away from her season high she had against Western State and Cal State East Bay. Mountain Lions will have to fight as West Texas A&M coming out for the last time, getting ready for this game. Brought the pep band, brought the cheerleaders. Well, the Mountain Lions brought the famous one, the UCCS mascot, Clyde, in the building tonight, as Clyde just sitting over there. But, you know, it'll be a fun game, a close game, about 2 minutes away. You know, it'll be a fun one. And, you know, Mountain Lions really will have to play smart. And also can't look ahead. You know, talk to head coach John Nelson about that. Said it's a 3-foot world. Focus on the one game and then focus on the game after when they get there. So about 1:56 away. Tune in for UCCS broadcast. I'll be commentating the game as we will say goodbye. Hopefully have another pregame show soon. Check out the interviews on Facebook for Gabby Ramirez, Brittany Hernandez, and Sean Nelson. I'm Charlie Botnick. See you in a bit.
Since 1909, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has been a leader in collegiate athletics, with campuses in some of the most scenic areas in the United States. And now in Salt Lake City, Utah and Rapid City, South Dakota, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, competition elevated.